Hey, good morning, everybody. This is your favorite host, Dr. C, from Where I Sit. Welcome for another full-length video. It is a beautiful Saturday morning here in the Atlanta metro, and I'm happy to be with you this morning. And of course, this is going to be one of, I believe, at least three videos that I will be posting on to YouTube this weekend. This is the first of three, I believe. I might do more. We'll see. Okay. But again, welcome to the show. And we have a lot to get to. We're going to talk about what I talked about yesterday, basically from a couple of the videos that I was watching while I was on my break in South Carolina. I was telling you about a couple of MAGA ladies that were really having a really hard time with what's happening with them, and of course, I had some thoughts about that. But we're going to get to that in just a moment. We're also going to talk about AI. And by the way, the discussion on artificial intelligence is going to be a little bit more practical this time around. And the reason why is because artificial intelligence is here to stay. It's not going to get rolled back. But there are some things that we as the populace can do about the rollout of artificial intelligence, and how can we use artificial intelligence to benefit us. We're not talking just benefiting those who are at the top echelon of the economic structure work, because they're the ones that are going to benefit the most right now. But there are some things that you and I can do to make artificial intelligence work for us. And need I remind all of you that it is very important that we roll out artificial intelligence with balance. And the reason why I mentioned balance is because right now everything is completely and totally out of balance, out of whack right now. And this is the reason why I'm talking about balance when it comes to the usage of artificial intelligence. The next video after that is going to be talking about the financial system, because I think it is important for the American people. And when I say the American people, and I'm going to refer to us as the American people again and again this weekend, that does not include the top 10%. And I will talk about the top 10% in my financial and economic video for all of you. Now, the first and foremost, the main reason why Dr. C does these podcasts is to educate people. My main purpose is to educate people. Okay. Yes, I call myself Dr. C, and yes, I do have a doctorate. I have several advanced degrees in different areas, and so yeah, I do know what I'm talking about. I don't know everything, and the things that I do not know about, I seek out the information about it. And so my main goal here is to educate those of you who are listening and watching. Okay. So, without further ado, let us get into the main crux of today's first video. All right, here we go. So, let's get straight to it. Now, I have a few quotes that I want to share with you first before we get into the meat and potatoes of today's discussion. First and foremost is the abandonment is the mother of necessity. Let me say that one more time. Abandonment is the mother of necessity. And so I am going to talk a little bit more about these ladies that I watched crying. I mean, literally bawling their eyes out, asking President Trump, to save them from their fate. And I must apologize from yesterday's very short video. By the way, I'm just going to let you know when I posted that video, I only got a couple of views. Maybe it's because maybe I was too harsh, or maybe it's because I was appealing to the MAGA crowd in getting them or trying to persuade them to come over to our side to save the democracy in the republic. Whatever the case may be, I think it's very important for me to talk a little bit more about MAGA and what they're going through. But I will say this is the one and only time I'm going to make this appeal. Okay, this is the only time I'm going to make this appeal. By the way, just in case you haven't figured it out, if anybody who is from MAGA and it's watching and listening, we've been sharing information with you for what, since 2020, that Trump was going to do exactly what he is doing right now. We tried to warn you again and again and again and again, but you did not listen. So that's the reason why this is going to be my once and only appeal. Okay. And the reason why I have up here the abandonment is the mother of necessity, is because, well, let's be real. MAGA feels like that they are being abandoned by the very government that they put into office. And if that is exactly how you are feeling, then guess what? That is actually what is happening. So some of you talking to MAGA, and of course, these are people from the left as well. Progressives also have, family members who are also in the military. And my son, he serves in the United States Army, and he did not get paid at the end of this month. That's right. He did not get a paycheck. So the abandonment is real. It's real. And once you come to that realization, then you can move on to the next step. And that brings me to my next quote: to evolve is to grow. To evolve is to grow. And so I am going to take the opportunity to educate those who are listening, whether you are on the left or on the right, whether you are a MAGA or a progressive, or it doesn't really matter to me. My job today, and it has always been, because I'm a retired teacher, my job has always been to educate people, to give you the facts and the truth. So let us begin to evolve and grow together during this program. And so I'm going to share with you the 1619 project. Now, the 1619 project is very interesting, and of course, was written by this brilliant woman, Nicole Hannah-Jones. I mean, simply brilliant. She's a journalist, a Pulitzer Prize winning journalist, okay, who wrote the 1619 Project. And I'll share with you this little short blurb right here. In August of 1619, a ship appeared on the horizon near Point Comfort, a coastal port in the English colony of Virginia. It carried more than 20 enslaved Africans who were sold to the colonists. No aspect of the country that would be formed here has been untouched. And I am going to reiterate, that the whole American system today was built on the backs of these slaves that would flow from Africa to these shores over centuries, 400 to 500 centuries. And this country was built literally from the ground up on the backs of these slaves. So no aspect of the country that would be formed here has been untouched by the years of slavery that followed. On the 400th anniversary of this fateful moment, it is finally time to tell our story. And by the way, not only to tell our story, I'm not just talking about Black people, of which I am a descendant of these slaves that came to these shores. This is not just Black history or our Black story. This is America's story, the United States of America's story. Okay. And the brilliant and beautiful Nicole Hannah Jones lays it all out in her book. I encourage those of you who have not read her writings, I absolutely encourage you to do so. Do so with an open mind. Get rid of all of your preconceived notions of white supremacy. Please leave it at the door once you enter this realm of truth telling, factual truth telling. Nicole Hannah Jones is brilliant because, not just because I say so, because she took the time and the research over years to put forth this groundbreaking work. Now, why is this work important? Well, because, and I'm just going to give it to you in a little bit of a nutshell, but you'll find this information within her writings in the 1619 Project, okay? When these African slaves came to the shores of this continent and were sold into slavery, over time, these slaves, just like anybody else who was sold into slavery, longed and wanted to be free, and longed and wanted to be created as an equal human being. Now, I'm going to also say to all of you, we are all equal human beings. Has nothing to do with race, color, gender, religion, sexual orientation. All of that is just garbage. We are all human beings created by you, whatever you want to call that person, that entity. Okay. You can call it God, Allah, whatever, the creator. It doesn't matter. And by the way, all of that, your world view, right, never will ever take away the fact that you are a human being just like me. Okay. So, yeah, these slaves working from sunup to sundown, forced to work up from sundown by their would-be owners because they treated them as property and not as a human being, wrongfully, by the way, I might add. And so they longed for freedom and they fought for it. They would revolt again and again and time to time. And what they also decided to do, which by the way is very smart, that they decided to appeal to white indentured servants. Mind you, it's important to understand that the slave owners, the landowners of this time, of the early years, decades, and centuries of the United States of America as it grew, is that the wealthy landowners, i.e., by the way, these will also be the same people who what we would call the founding fathers. A lot of them owned slaves. They were property owners. They were wealthy property owners. And over time, as these newly acquired slaves from Africa would appeal to white indentured servants, saying, hey, if you fight with us, we can both gain our freedom together. And by the way, the arguments that these Black Africans were making were quite appealing to white indentured servants because they were being treated just as badly as the Black slaves at this particular time. So, yeah, freedom and equality for everybody was appealing then, as it is appealing now. Of course, the wealthy slave owners of this time saw how dangerous this this union between black slaves and white indentured servants could be to them, their well-being and their wealth and stature in life. And so these wealthy white men devised a plan, a diabolical plan that they have used decade after decade, century after century, all the way up to now, to separate poor whites from Black slaves. And today, poor whites from poor everybody else. Okay? I want you to keep that in mind. The plan to separate poor whites in the early days of America and separate those poor whites today from every marginalized group in America. I want you to wrap your head around that because they are using the same playbook. And when I say they, I'm talking about the wealthy 10% in the billionaire class right now. They're using the same playbook that they used back in 1619 and in the early days of North America and South America, Central America, the Caribbean, etc. Okay. They did not want poor whites and indentured servants at this time forming an alliance with Black slaves because they knew that if these people got together, they will overthrow them and change the trajectory of the country. So, what they decided to do is exactly what LBJ said in the 1960s. And I will read this quote. This is a direct quote from Lyndon Baines Johnson. He was the United States president. For those of you who do not remember, he was Kennedy's vice president when Kennedy was assassinated. In Dallas, LBJ became president. LBJ also was the president who put forth, let me rephrase that, push forth the Voting Rights Act that the Supreme Court is likely to get rid of soon. But LBJ says here, and I quote, if you can convince the lowest white man he's better than the best colored man or Black man today, he won't notice you're picking his pocket. He'll give somebody, hell, give him somebody to look down on, and he'll empty his pockets for you. I think that is worth reading again. If you can convince the lowest white man he's better than the best colored man, he won't notice you're picking his pocket. Hell, give him somebody to look down on, and he'll empty his pockets for you. This is a quote from LBJ on Southern racism. By the way, during this particular time, when LBJ was president, we had the Vietnam War going, and of course, we still had Jim Crow in the South. Okay. And so let us fast forward to where we are right now, starting with 2015. Donald Trump. I got to give him credit. The man has convinced 30% of the American population to be in his cult based upon this very quote. Convince the lowest white man, and of course, we will not just say white man because these are poor white men and women in their families. Convince them that they're better than everybody else who's marginalized in this country, and they will not notice that he's picking their pockets. And he has done so since 2015. As a matter of fact, this man has been at it for a decade. He's been at this a decade. And by the way, he is using the same playbook that has been formed and put into use when Black slaves entered the shores of North America. He's been using the same playbook. And so if we go back to LBJ's quote here and Donald Trump saying, we're going to make America great again. Well, what's he talking about? We're going to make America what it used to be. Project 2025, which I am quite certain a lot of you have not read. This is a blueprint to take the country back to a time where everybody didn't have any rights. And those of you who considered yourself superior to everybody else because of the color of your skin, and the rich are convincing you that you are while they're taking everything away from you. I come back to these two women that I saw Friday crying their eyes out because everything's being taken away from them. Their health care is being taken away. Their SNAP benefits were taken away until yesterday. I think the Trump administration finally got enough heat and pressure to release the emergency money for these people. But that's just a temporary setback. They are not done emptying poor white folks' pockets while telling them that they're better than everybody else, where they are not. No one is better than anybody else. We have degrees of talent from top to bottom for everyone. Some realize those talents and take advantage of them in this capitalist system we have. Others do not. Okay? Others have opportunities, others do not. All right? Yeah, I have several degrees, but do I really think that I am better than the lowest white man in this country? No, I don't. Because I'm a human being, and so is that person. But they've sold you a bill of goods, and they are picking your pocket at the same time. All you have to do is pay attention to the history and compare that to what is going on right now. Some of you might call me woke. You might say that I am presenting to you a woke ideology. Well, to be woke, and I'm not even sure a lot of you understand what that means. To be woke is to tell the truth, to present the historical facts. It is available not just to me, but to all of us. You could go to the YouTube University, that's what I call it these days, and you can find out all this information about what I'm telling you right now. In fact, you can find out all kinds of information about everything at YouTube University. Okay? There is no reason to despair. In fact, I will go back to the very first slide that I showed you guys that abandonment is the mother of necessity. Well, the necessity right now is to buck up, educate yourself, and come up with a new plan to face this new challenge for all of us. In addition to that, the other necessity is that you need to build community. That's the other problem about the United States of America. We focus too much on the individual and not enough on community. By the way, me being African American, of course, my parents and my grandparents and my great grandparents were forced out of necessity because guess what? Forced into community because we were not allowed to participate in the overall economy like everyone else. So, yeah, you need to focus on community, help each other out, weather this storm, and also join us to make this government in this economic system work for all of us, not just the top 10%. So, and like I said, this is an appeal, and it's not going to be a long one. And this is the last appeal that I'm going to make, right? I'm not going to ask you to come on over to our side because I think a good portion of you are still drinking the Kool-Aid, but I'm going to do my best. Which brings me to this slide. Education is an exercise in facts and truth. Now, facts and truth are absolutely something different, but they work together to make you a better human being. So, exactly what is truth? Truth, in essence, is the correspondence between a statement or belief and objective reality. It's a correspondence between a statement or belief. We all have beliefs and objective reality. So the truth is, as we talk about the state of affairs in the United States of America right now, the truth is, and this is using objective reality, we are all screwed big time under this Trump regime. That's just being objective. For those two ladies who, by the way, I absolutely felt bad for them, okay? But at the same time, I also focus on the reality that you people voted for him twice. Some of you voted for him 3 times. Despite all of the warnings that we gave you, do not vote for this criminal. Okay? But you did it anyway. And the other, you could say what the belief is, the objective reality right now is he's destroying the government as we know it and is also destroying this country's standing in the world. No one in their right mind, an ally like the European Union or some of our allies in the Asian Pacific, Central and South America, none of these people, Canada, oh, Canada, none of these countries are ever going to rely on us again. And the reason why is because we've made a mistake twice in electing a demagogue. That is the objective reality. Back to truth, it represents an accurate reflection or representation of facts, events, or principles. An accurate reflection or representation of facts, by the way, not alternate facts, real facts, events, or principles. So, really, all you have to do is go look at the actual facts and events. And when you do that, you don't do it on Fox News. Fox News has been found again and again and again that they lie and obfuscate the facts on their channel. There's a reason why independent media, of which I belong to, call Fox News, guess what? Trump state media. You need to get out of that echo chamber. Yes, I listen to Fox News. I compare what they're saying with the truth, with the facts. And what they are telling their viewers, their listeners, their audience is not the truth. Back to truth. Philosophically, truth is a complex concept explored by various schools of thought, including correspondence, coherence, and pragmatic theories. By the way, truth is much more complicated than what we give it credit for. We throw truth around like, yeah, my truth is my truth. Your truth is not true. No, it's not that at all. Truth, working in conjunction with the facts, real facts, right, has to be taken with a grain of salt, i.e., complex concept explored by various schools of thought, right, including correspondence, coherence, and pragmatic theories. Let me ask any of you who still subscribe to being part of MAGA, I want you to really dig deep within yourself and ask, are you being pragmatic with the theories that you've come up with? Does this really include any coherence with any other schools of thoughts? Right? And if the answer to that is no, then maybe you're not, shall I say, making decisions based upon the truth and facts. It goes beyond mere factual accuracy, often intertwining with notions of sincerity, authenticity. Oh my God, let's come back to that. Authenticity and moral integrity. Sincerity, authenticity, and moral integrity. For those of you who call yourself Christians, go to your Bible and read what Jesus says about the poor, what Jesus says about the stranger, what Jesus says about your fellow man, what we should be doing with them. We are to love one another. Now, let me ask you this. Based on all the news that you've seen, on Fox, on other mainstream media channels and independent media. Do you really think the way that they are treating immigrants in this country, that they are being moral in the decisions that they're making? Are they moral in taking away health care from, well, I don't know, 25, 30 million Americans? Or withholding SNAP benefits for people who are likely to go hungry just because they're trying to make a political point? Or not paying our military, of which I have a son who is serving. This regime lacks authenticity, sincerity. They are definitely not sincere. They lie day in and day out. All you have to do is do some homework, and you could do that homework on YouTube. YouTube University, baby. And get the facts about what they're saying. They are not telling you the truth. And all you have to do is find out that information on your own. They are not authentic, and they absolutely have no integrity. I used to be a sailor. I served about 12 years in the United States Coast Guard, was underway a lot, on the ocean a lot. And the one thing that we always talked about was integrity, watertight integrity. The ship had to have, absolutely flawless watertight integrity. And what does that mean? Well, if the ship started springing leaks in its hull, it doesn't have watertight integrity, right? And if you have a lot of holes in your vessel that is floating on the ocean, what happens to your vessel if you don't take care of the watertight integrity? It starts to sink. Integrity is this: if I lie to you and I'm telling you I'm lying to you about a certain statement or whatever, do I have integrity? Or does the person who lies to you and tells you that they're not lying to you, which one has integrity? I'm lying to you and I'm telling you I'm lying to you. The one who lies to you and then tells you that they're not lying to you, which one has integrity? The one who is lying to you and telling you they are lying to you is the one with integrity. There's no holes in his story. The one who's lying to you, say like your pastor, your white Christian nationalist pastor, telling you you're a working class white man or family struggling out here in this Trump economy, and your white pastor is telling you that you are superior to everyone else, so stay the course. Does that pastor have integrity? No, because he's lying to you while he's trying to tell you that you are superior, and so stay the course while we pick your pocket. That man is without integrity. The one who is telling you the truth about what Jesus says about your fellow man, your fellow human being, the poor, the destitute, the homeless, the stranger, the immigrant, and how you should really treat them with respect and love, that person is telling you the truth. That is the person with integrity. Truth, or our final paragraph here, truth is a fundamental aspect of human cognition. Truth is a fundamental aspect of human cognition. To understand forming the basis for reliable knowledge, effective communication, and ethical. Remember, put emphasis on ethical conduct in personal and societal context. That's truth. Do you, in your heart of hearts, believe that the Trump administration, the Trump regime, and yes, I am going to lump into that all of these Republican leaders in Washington, that they are actually telling you the truth, giving you the facts? Are they being ethical in their conduct? Are they following societal context? Are they giving you reliable knowledge? Knowledge that you can rely on. I think if you dig into your heart and hearts, that's not true. And if that is not true, then what, pray tell, should you do? Yes. What should you do? Join us on the Truth and Facts train. This is your absolute last call. Once again, I'm going to do this just this one time. And by the way, I encourage you to just follow the facts. Take what I have said and search within yourself and for yourself the facts about what I'm saying. The fact that the rich and powerful for centuries have figured out a way to take poor whites globally. This is globally, not just in this country, but globally, and to pit them against poor folks of other communities that are not white, to do their bidding. And when I say their bidding, we're talking the rich and powerful. Okay? Wars have been fought by poor and working class whites and others to do the bidding of the rich and powerful. Do you understand? You are being played. The difference between you and me, or your community and my community, is that we know we're being played, but you don't. We're trying to educate you so that you can take the next step. The next step is we have to make some major changes in this country. This political system needs some major changes. The rich and powerful have way too much, and they are dictating terms to the rest of us. This is, the last I checked, is a government for the people and by the people, not for the rich and by the rich. You understand? It's for the people, by the people. And it's time for the people to take back what is rightfully ours. And I am asking you wholeheartedly, sincerely, to join us with these truths and these facts. But like I said, once again, this is the only time I'm going to ask. From here on out, you're on your own. I look forward to your comments. If you're MAGA, I hope you're listening and watching. If you're not, that's great too. But I'm looking for your comments and everything. And like I said, I've been getting a lot of views, and I'm really, really happy about that. I've been getting a lot of comments, and yes, I've even gotten some subscribers. I don't have a whole lot, but I have more than what I used to have. I got 22 subscribers now. I'm looking to get 25. So if I could get 3 more subscribers, that would be great. And I will continue to put out this content for you to share with others. Thank you for joining me. And I will see you in the next video. Y'all have a great day.